Don't miss the new Foetid Bloat Drone.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, everybody. Next up in this week's Death Guard release wave is the Foetid Bloat Drone. Say that 10 times fast. You won't. It's a lot of words. But this bad boy has finally made it out of all the easy to build bundle kits that we saw come out with release of 8th edition 40k, and now it's got a couple of different weapon options. You got the flesh mower, the heavy blight launcher, and of course the OG plague spitter. I say OG, but it's really only a couple months old. That came in the original kit. Now, the main difference is between this particular multi-part kit and the one you get in all those bundles is that there's a couple of different front armor plates. There's actually 3 different variants that you can equip this with, and 3 different kind of tops for it as well that go on here, so you can kind of mix and match as you want. And then of course you've got the 2 other weapon systems there that were only recently revealed in the Death Guard Codex itself. And there's a couple of different noses, believe it or not, that you can actually put on these guys. A couple of different snoots to boot, so to speak, right there. So let's jump into it and take a closer look. Now this is a, what is this, $50 kit. It's 44 pieces. So lots and lots and lots of different options. It's going to come on a 60 mil base, just like we saw with the other kit, or the easy to build kit. So roughly it goes together the same up to the weapon option part. So you got left and right halves at the top here, and then you've got 2 different snoots to boop right here, 2 different noses to put on it, depending on which one you want to do. Once you figure that out, of course, one of them is a 2-part, and there's a little like crazy claw dagger thing right there as well that goes on each side. Or you can go with like the hose version with a couple of different little respirator type option looking things there, and then you put the left and right engine pods there, and then one up on aft, or I guess that would be the dorsal side of it, so to speak. I'm not a Death Guard biologist, but I can definitely tell you that I've seen enough Shark Week to know that the top of anything is the dorsal. And then you've got the different armor plates right there with, let's see, not 1, not 2, but 3 different front armor cowlings that you can attach these different parts to. It looks like the horns come on this one already with a little different front plate to kind of go underneath it and make like a little crazy devil face. And then you've got this right here that connects to little vaporizer things right here, which might be pretty fun to paint, but you're gonna have to tape them off if you're doing an airbrush. And then you've got these crazy little spiky bits parts right here. And whichever one you choose, they go right on the front of that computer slice section, and boom, you've got your assembly up to the weapon parts. And then you kick it over to your choice of said weapon parts. So you can go with the heavy blight launcher, which is a left and right half with a front tri-barrel design, and then an armor carapace that goes over top here, and a little hose piece that's going to connect over to the fuel tank, which I guess sits on the left side of the miniature right there, and there's a little sub-assembly, and boom, there it is, all together with the hose that goes around the back. Or you can do the traditional, more detailed plague spitter than the easy to build version, which is going to have a lot of extra wiring and left and right halves of the nozzle right up here. And then that goes on very similar to what we've seen in the past. Of course, that's depending on what front armor plate configuration you use. And then the soon to be possibly everybody's favorite flesh mower. I'm still sold on the effectiveness of this model with the plague spitter. It seems to me it's more damage output than a Helldrake. However, it isn't as tough as a Helldrake can be, because Helldrake, I guess, probably has a little bit more options as far as that model goes. And you can kind of work the angles because the base is that flying base where you can lock a lot more things in and then fly out. Whereas this only has a 60 mil base, so you can play the time game or the grab ass game, get in, lock some stuff down, bounce out, flesh mower back in, but you're not going to clip as many things as, say, you know, like a Helldrake could on the large flower base. Just some stuff to keep in mind. I suppose you can't bounce out and bounce back into combat anyways. That's actually not a thing. You can just bounce out because he has fly, unless they have a special ability. You know, they're not going to be able to assault back in after they do that. That's something that I think is only reserved for White Scars, and I think there was actually a rule for it in the new guard book. I know I saw it somewhere else, but I can't recall it quite off the top of my head. Well, anyways, regardless, Flesh Mower, soon to be everybody's new favorite. It's got left and right arm assemblies, very similar to the orc. What is that thing that goes on the battle wagon? Dang. It was like the Scourge of like 5th edition. I totally forgot the name of it. Regardless, this is very similar to that. But it's a little bit smaller because it's on 60 mil base. But it's got this cool little assembly here, like the corkscrew kind of, the old 30 style push mowers that you would, you know, before they had motorized tractors and things like that. People actually used to have to push their lawnmowers, believe it or not. And through the complex gearing and machinery, it would actually work as long as your blades were sharp. Well, this is kind of the same philosophy, but, you know, for killing people instead of mowing your yard. So keep that in mind. It looks fresh. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to maybe playtest this one out. I mean, obviously it's going to have 18 attacks, as we're about to see when I show you the rules after we take a look at the sprues. But that being said, I think it's pretty neat altogether. So here's a look at the first sprue, and this is going to be your normal tank size sprue cut in two and put in the unit size box. So there is, I can't tell exactly off the top of my head, that appears to be the port side, the left side of the kit right there. Then you've got your flesh mower assemblies, some of the different nose pieces here, more flesh mower assemblies. There's your plague heavy blight launcher, part of your fuel tanks for the heavy blight launcher, part of the different nose pieces right there, more heavy or more nose pieces, more nose pieces, more nose pieces, respirator, and part of the armored top right there, that spiky kind of horn bits section right there. Over to here, we've got the right side or the starboard side of the vehicle, and then you've got your different armored tops. This one already comes with the bone detail. Then you've got that other spiky bits part right there. Your 3 engine pieces here, part of your heavy blight launcher. And then you've got your flesh. Oh, no, it's not the flesh. There's plague spitters, flesh. Oh, this is the heavy blight launcher, and then that quad or the trip piece right there, the tri piece, locks in on the front armor plate. There's part of your plague spitters, the more detailed ones, respirator pieces for the nose, etc., etc. Lots and lots of respirator pieces. So depending on what actual front you put on this, you may or may not use some of these pieces right here. So you'll have some extra stuff, and then that little nose piece, I like that one the best, that goes into here. So very cool, highly detailed kit. As you can probably see here, you've got some scarring, you know, crazy, that almost looks like a tattoo that never healed of, you know, the Nurgle symbol. You've got cuts, teeth marks right here, all sorts of scoring, mutations, crazy like dripping tentacle areas. I don't even know. I've seen enough porn, or I guess I've seen enough anime to know that that is something that, well, well, let's just say there's something for that out there for everybody, I suppose. But it's interesting to see that on a model from Games Workshop. But anyways, like I said, very, very well detailed kit. You've got dripping pus and stuff right here as well. Very cool nonetheless. All these wires have like pitting and exposed innards. Looks like some sort of cooling. So yeah, I mean, very cool stuff here. Even the turbines inside of these engines right here have crazy pitting, and you've got all sorts of pox marks around the outside of it. I didn't look at the rotator flesh mower blade. I would definitely be careful putting that together. That does not look pleasant. That you could definitely cut yourself with that. Lots more exposed wiring and stuff over here. So all in all, I think it's a highly detailed kit. Not as highly detailed as perhaps some of the Terminators that we saw and Typhus himself. Mortarion is probably one of the most detailed and well thought out kits that we've seen in a while from Games Workshop. Rules wise, I mean, this is still cool. This is way better than the easy to build version of it. But again, it's not. I mean, it just doesn't wow me like some of those other kits, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's still neat. Like, if this was like, hey, this is the only kit, maybe this and a couple other, you know, characters that we're getting from Death Guard, I would still be very impressed. But I guess it's, you know, maybe my 4th or 5th favorite in the whole Death Guard lineup. Pros and cons, like I said, it's going to come with a couple of extra weapon options, a couple different top armor plates, more two options for nose pieces, so it is more highly detailed than easy to build version, but a lot of people already have the easy to build version. Maybe you could pick a couple of these up and it's going to have, you know, you're going to have your plague spitters, which probably nobody needs if you have the easy to build version. But if you know, want to try to equip maybe like the flesh mower on one and then your heavy blight launcher, there might be a way to take the easy to build one and try to retrofit this onto that so you get extra use of your parts. There might be a way to put this over it. That would probably be a different video where we take both and try to compare them and put them together. But currently, you know, as we have a lot of releases this week, that isn't exactly on the docket for today, reviewing them, but that might be something that we check out and report back on here in the near future. If you were able to do it, please leave it in the comments so, you know, we can find out and kind of all learn about this kit together. Rules wise, the Foetid Bloat Drone, let's check out his points right here. Now, his points are going to be on par to some of the other vehicles out there, and at this point it's really just, well, how do you want to field your army when it comes down to it, because he's got some similar stuff that the Plague Crawler does, which also comes out this week. So the Bloat Drone stock is 49 points. Then whatever you arm it with, either the Heavy Blight Launcher or the Plague Spitter, which are also right there, those are going to run you a little bit more. But like I said, if you're going to take something like the Plague Crawler, which is a heavy support option, let's pull that one up. He is 140, the Plague Burst Crawler, and that's going to come with 2 Plague Spitters, but it's toughness 8 with 12 wounds, whereas this is toughness 7 with 10 wounds, and obviously at 49 point stock with the ability to fly. That is some pretty good rules, in my humble opinion, right there. Let's check out how many points the Plague Spitter is real quick. The Plague Splitter is going to be 17 points. Your Heavy Blight Launcher is 35 points, and your Flesh Mower is going to check in at, oh, that's a melee weapon. I was like, where is it? Flesh Mower is 12 points. So for 49 plus 12, you can get, for 61 points all day, you can get a fantastic melee little unit that also can fly and give you some, I guess, feint ability there. So weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, its strength it's 6, but if you equip it with the Flesh Mower, you go up to 10. It is neg 2 AP with 2 damage. Toughness 7, 10 wounds. Attacks are 3, but again, if you use the Flesh Mower, each time you activate it and make an attack, you roll 6 additional attacks. Each time it fights, you can make 6 additional attacks with this weapon. Oh, maybe I am... I'm actually not sold on that now. So each time a Foetid Drone fights, it can make 6 additional attacks with this weapon. Well, I suppose we should go down to the booth and see how that compares to the Night Titan special rule. Alright, well, the ruling from the field looks to be I was incorrect. I may have misspoken. So the Titanic feat for the Imperial Knight says make 3 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1, whereas the Flesh Mower says that each time you attack with it, you get additional attacks. So I'm inclined to think that it only gets 9 attacks instead of 18. So we did multiplication instead of addition, words and such, but sometimes it's not like there's a million and one rules that have come out recently. Sometimes we have to stop and double check things just to be sure. So I feel like we have corrected ourselves appropriately, but if not, Drop it into comments. Let us know what you think about it right there. But I'm pretty sure we're good. Either way, Heavy Blade Launcher seems pretty dope. Plague Spitter, well, I think it's very ubiquitous. It's definitely worth taking just at stock value. It's a nice, decent weapon that isn't too bad for its points. Just run around, zipping around, doing things for 50 points. Plus the Plague Spitter, I don't feel like it's too bad whatsoever if you have that fast attack option open in your detachment right there. And well, we all know how I feel about the Flesh Mower. Even at 9 attacks, it's still pretty good. I mean, strength 8, -2 AP with 2 damage. I feel like you can do some work with it, and there's so many options in this box. Why would you not pick one up if you're just thinking about taking a Flesh Mower right there and having a little fun with some hobbying on that, and then maybe using the extra pieces for perhaps the easy to build version that you might already own from the release of 8th edition 40K. So that's it for this one. Thanks for hanging in there with me as we checked out that rule, because that's what pretty much 40K 8th edition is all about, is checking out those rules every few minutes as you play. But that's why sometimes it's good to get some playtest games in and read through all your rules, make some notes, make some checklists of things to remember when you're playing your game there. So that's it for this one, folks. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you subscribe to us, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on our videos, and head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and now 8th edition downloadable army lists. Become a veteran of the Long War today.